Petra, you're back at Mom and Dad's house again? Next week I'm planning on having Pat come over so that I can introduce him to everyone there. So, Petra, you are really getting in my way by being at their house right now. Hurry up and get out of that house for good. And I am trying. I would really like to be out of this house as soon as possible right now, and I'm planning on being gone soon. But of course, there are still some things I'm not quite over just yet. Not over what? This isn't just about the fact that you went and stole my fiancé from me like that, but the fact that you went and made it sound like I was the one trying to steal him from you all this time. Now I'm totally pissed off about that and can't just let things go anymore. Well, listen here, Petra. I have every right to blame the person in the wrong for doing something wrong, right? You tried to steal Pat from me, you freak! Lacey, your English is getting worse day by day. And your head is getting worse day by day, you idiot! You really do have to get over all this. It was Pat that started to like me more than you, so there's nothing you can do to fight that, okay? Also, Pat's already told me he's never going to marry you now, since you tried to steal him away from my arms. So this isn't all just you saying that I'm the one who was trying to steal Pat from you? He himself is lying about what happened to paint me is the problem. This is just like that time you threw yourself down the stairs and then started blaming me for pushing you, even though I was in the kitchen on the first floor of our house. But you did push me! And I'll have you know that I sprained my ankle really badly because of that. And that's on you for being a complete imbecile and falling down the stairs. You were just lucky that Mom and Dad weren't home to see it, making them believe you when you showed them the sprain and blamed me. There were already some red flags being raised after both Mom and Dad believed what you were saying over me, when you had no evidence, but are you kidding me? Now you've gotten Pat playing along with your lies and are blaming me once again for something I have never done? Well, I also told him about what you did to me then as well, and he told me he never thought of you as such a bully. And that's why he ended up falling in love with me. And now that he loves me so much that he wants to marry me, he's never going to doubt that moment again, and will always play along with my lies. See, now that you've even heard it from me, you get it, right? You don't have any friends in this family anymore, so hurry up and get out of Mom and Dad's house for me. Make sure to never come back around us again. Alright then, I guess this is it for me then. I'm changing my plans. I'm going to leave this house today. Thank God. After seeing how you've acted, even now while we've texted, I finally understand it all. Everyone in this house will only believe what you tell them, no matter how frickin' insane and baseless it is. Which must mean that both Mom and Dad are completely nuts. Huh? What the heck did you just say? Are you stupid? I don't really care anymore about what I say. I'm already on my way out of this house now, so I feel that I can say whatever I want about you guys, because I'll never see any one of you again, right? I'm going to start packing all my things up now, so leave me alone. Hey, you still aren't out of the house yet? I've just finished up talking with a realtor about signing a lease for an apartment and planning out how I'm going to move all my things there. Well, who cares about that? All of the things you have are worthless to the rest of us, so they can just all go in the trash. Just throw it all in the back of your car or something and get lost. Anything you can't fit, we'll gladly throw away for you. You're right, actually. I'm only gathering the most valuable things to me, and the rest I'll be getting rid of. But it's not like I have much left anyway, because there was always someone going into my room and always stealing my things from me without ever asking. Huh? I never stole any of those things, though. I was just taking them from you. It's your fault for always buying such nice clothing and bags and jewelry that would look way better on a beauty like me. I only said someone was stealing all of my things, Lacey. I never said that it was you that was doing all of it. What? I see. So you really have been the one stealing all my things then. What the hell? You're being a total witch. Just get out of this house already. And I'm on my way out of here right now. Is that right? Well, thank frickin' God for that. Now the final piece of annoying garbage is out of my sight. Ah, that's right. I've been blocked by Pat already, so I have something I'd like for you to relay to him. What is it? Tell him that if I don't get my $3,000 back from him that I lent him by the middle of this month, I'm going to have a problem. Huh? $3,000? He already knows where to send the money to, so all you have to do is tell him that and he'll be able to handle the rest. If he doesn't know what to do, then tell him to unblock me so that he and I can talk about this like adults. And I can explain to him again what needs to happen. What are you going on about? You're telling me that the Pat I'm engaged to, the one who happens to work for a very large company and makes lots of money there, had to borrow money from some loser like you? No freaking way that's a thing. There happens to be an IOU that we both signed proving this is true, though. No way, no way, no way! If you don't want to believe me, then that's totally fine. I just want you to go ahead and tell him all of this for me. If you'd like to hear the reason for why he had to borrow money from me in the first place, then go and ask him about it. There is just no way any of that is true. Can you please quit trying to make me laugh at this stupid joke of yours? I'm not going back to that house anymore, just so you know. So this is goodbye forever then. Petra, I have some super happy news for you. I was just proposed to by Pat. And of course we all know what my answer was, right? It was a yes. We were on an evening walk out at the city center park, and there he got down on one knee, whipped out a beautiful ring, and asked for me to be his wife. It was the most romantic setting for me, and I just couldn't help but come to you with this amazing news. Is that so? Congratulations. And when it comes to our wedding, Pat has told me that at the very least, it's going to cost $50,000. Really? I never expected that you both would be putting $50,000 toward a wedding. I'm sure you are oh so jealous of me right now. I'm wondering how you're going to come across that kind of money. Huh? Listen here, miss. Just because someone like Pat had to borrow a measly $3,000 from you before, doesn't mean you get to start acting like he doesn't have the money for this wedding. Would you please stop it with that now? After I went to him about all that, he said he paid you right back in 2 days. Ah, you're talking about that. I'm very thankful that you were able to go to him and relay what I wanted you to say, without screwing it all up or forgetting about it. Thank you. He told me that during that phase, he was just asking you for a little money to help him cover some simple costs. And that's the only reason he asked for that small amount from you. So don't get such a big head over that instance. That's not what I was planning for you to think when I thought about your guys' financial situations. So, was the only reason for you coming back to me after months of no communication whatsoever just for you to brag to me about how you were able to say yes to his proposal? Huh? I'm just thinking that none of this has to do with you wanting to invite me to that wedding or anything you just spoke of. Of course I'm going to invite you to it. I wasn't just going to start the conversation with me telling you the date and location of the wedding. I had to lead into that by telling you what good news I had and about how the wedding will be. You don't have to tell me about all of that stuff, all right? I don't plan on coming anyway. We'll see about that. So is that all you wanted from me then? Huh? I really want to get back to work now. Wait, today is a holiday, you idiot. You think I'm going to believe that you still have to work? You must really be in need of money right now if you're having to work during a holiday. I happened to change my career, and that ended up with me having to change my schedule around, where I only have to work on the weekends and sometimes on holidays and during the week. What? You changed your job? And because of me changing my career and job, I am now making a whole lot more money than I was before. What? Really? So? Huh? I don't think you have anything else to say to me then, so I'll be getting back to work now. Petra! Petra, please! What the heck do you want from me? I'm in the middle of some very important work, okay? I need some money from you as a celebration for my wedding. Huh? Is your wedding coming up really soon then? It'll be next week on Sunday. So please, give me some money to celebrate my marriage. I'm sure you can give me $50,000, right? Excuse me? Are you being serious right now? You want me to give you $50,000 as a present? You're my older sister, right? I think with you as my older sister, you should be more than happy to fork that kind of money over to me as a present for my special day. Come on now, Lacey. Just tell me what's really going on with you now. I know that you can't pay for your wedding now, and you want my money to pay for it. You guys don't have any money, right? You've only ever worked as a part-timer for a couple of stores and only ever brought in a couple $100s per month, right? So there was never enough income for you to save any of it. That's why, for a little while, you've had Mom and Dad giving you an allowance in order to have a little bit more money, right? And since you got those two to jump on your bandwagon and hand you money like that all the time, they now don't have any money for themselves to support them as they both try and retire happily. When it comes to Pat, he's working for a very large company, but only as a temporary employee, right? You knew about that? Well, you have to understand that I was really planning to marry that man at one point. And now the reason for why you are freaking out so much right now is because you happened to find out that the man you want to marry is making less than a full-time employee there. And that's really shocked you to your core. Do you know why I had to lend him $3,000 before? That's because while in between jobs, he didn't have the money to pay rent and for food. So I said he could borrow from me as long as he paid me back. And when he paid all that back to me in one payment, he must have borrowed money from somewhere else to make that work, right? That was, he may have said something about that before to me. So when it comes to you having to pay for that wedding, you must have thought he was going to be the one paying for all of it, right? And as for Pat, he thought that since you were always getting money from Mom and Dad, that it would be the same case here and that they'd pay for your wedding. Am I right about all this? But I had thought that Pat was full-time, long-term employee for that company, so I assumed he could afford everything. And by the way, why the hell do you know about all of this, Petra? I never knew a thing about any of this before, yet you knew all along? He and I have talked about all of this before when we were dating. and we both have friends that I'm able to hear things from. Also, when it came to him proposing to me and the two of us becoming engaged, he promised to me that he would get a full-time, long-term job by the time we got married. But that was all before you came in and stole him from me. If you knew about all of this, then why didn't you tell me? I only stole him from you because I thought he'd be making all this money and I'd never have to work a day in my life again. This is a scam. You scammed me. He's not at all what you advertised to me. He's not even rich enough to pay for a simple wedding to celebrate our marriage. You thought I had any reason to tell you any of that? Huh? The fact that you both didn't talk about all of this before talking about marriage is on you two. Had you actually sat down with him and talked finances and work, he might have told you more about who he really is and what state his bank accounts are in. Also, you were the one that chose to steal him from me, so I just assumed you knew about the kind of trash he is. So why tell you something when you should have already known? But... Also, just after that, you started to blame me for being the one to try and steal him from you before you ran out of the house to him. So I had no way to tell you who he was even. But listen! And just know that I am not going to give you $50,000 as a present, alright? What? I'm sorry, but I'm not that rich where I could just whip that kind of money out and give it to someone who isn't deserving of it. Well, I'm asking you to please do something. This has already caused a lot of problems, and so the wedding is being canceled. But the wedding planner has told me I have between now and next weekend to pay them back the cancellation fee. And I don't have the money to do that. Please just give me whatever money you have right now, Petra. Your cute little sister is in a really tough place right now. You're my older sister. After that, Lacey, Pat, and both of my parents started to call my phone over and over and over. And not just calls, but a bunch of text messages and things like that as well started to come. Lacey would tell me every time that she had no money and then would say horrible things to me. Pat would tell me that he has no money and then ask for the both of us to get back together again. Both my parents would tell me they have no money and that they wanted me to come back home to live with them. I get that I was able to find a better paying job and all, but I do not make the kind of money where I can pay for all these freaks. Anyway, all those calls and texts from me was driving me up the wall. So I went and changed my phone number. When talking to a person I know who lives in the house next to them, they told me that the whole story about how Lacey had really stolen Pat from me slipped out. And then all of their friends and family began to stop talking to them. And I guess that meant I was the only person left for them to rely on. When it came to that wedding's cancellation fee, it turns out that they were able to settle it by paying it off in half-year increments. But even with that, my parents had to end up selling their house. And then they all moved out of their house to a smaller apartment, where they would fight one another all the time and cause all kinds of noise complaints. It'll only be a matter of time before they get kicked out of the apartment and are forced to live on the street.
Hey Dad, I just wanted to let you know ahead of time that I'm getting married next month. Your invitation should be coming in the mail soon, but I thought I'd let you know now so you have enough time to find a nice suit to wear. Hi son, I had no idea you were even seeing someone. Now you're breaking the news out of the blue that you're getting married? At least I'm inviting you to the wedding. That doesn't fix the fact that I had no idea that you even had a girlfriend. We used to be so close. Why'd you stop telling me things? I just grew up, Dad. I don't have time to tell you everything that's going on in my life. No, I don't need to know everything, but you're suddenly telling me that you're getting married? And I don't even know who the girl is? I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Stop making something out of nothing. It's not nothing, Jordan. I thought I raised you better than this. You haven't even bothered to tell me your fiancée's name. You could have just checked the wedding invite. But her name's Kayla Little. There, now do you feel better? No, I don't know anything about her or your relationship. Where did you two meet? How long have you been together? What does she do? And most importantly, when can I meet her? Seriously, Dad, I don't have time for all these unnecessary questions, man. You can meet her at the wedding next month. Now, I gotta go. Kayla and I still have a lot of planning to do. I have to meet her in a short while to try out different wedding cakes. Okay, son, enjoy. Hello there, Kayla. My name is Steven. I'm Jordan's father. I hope you don't mind me messaging you. I just thought it would be nice to get to know you before you marry my son.
I know who you are. Jordan told me you were harassing him about me today.
I wouldn't say I was harassing him. He is my only son, and I was just trying to find out more about my future daughter-in-law. Anyhow, how'd you like to get to know each other tomorrow for a cup of coffee, so that we can get to know each other a little bit?
I really don't think that's necessary.
Well, I think so. We are going to be family soon. We should at least be acquainted.
Maybe I wasn't clear. I don't have any ambition to meet with you. I'm marrying your son, not you.
I just thought, being his father and all, you'd want to meet me before the wedding.
Next time? Don't think.
Son, I don't know if she told you, but I spoke to Kayla yesterday. She might have mentioned it, I don't remember. I'm so busy with work and the wedding planning that I barely remember what day of the week it is. Well, I was a bit taken aback by her response toward me, and it gave me a funny feeling. Please don't tell me you've been making decisions based on your gut feeling again. My gut feelings have never led me wrong before, and it hasn't led me wrong this time either. I did some digging on Kayla since neither you nor her want to tell me anything about her, and you won't believe what I found about her. I don't want to hear it, Dad. You're just upset that I didn't tell you sooner that I'd met someone. Yes, I am disappointed that I'm only hearing about this girl now, because I thought we were closer than that. But that's not why I did some research on her. I genuinely wanted to find out about the woman you've chosen to marry, and just as well I did. Alright, Dad, what is it? I can tell you're not going to let this go unless I hear you out. Just like when I was a kid, you would latch on to something and just go crazy on it until I'd let you tell me about it. Thank you. So, as I said, I did some investigating, and I found out that Kayla has been married before. Did you know that? I know she has a couple of exes, but she didn't mention that she'd actually been married before. But whatever, who cares? The past is the past. That's not all I found out, son. I found out why her ex-husband broke off their marriage. Get to the point, Dad, I don't have all day. It turns out that her ex-husband filed for an annulment shortly after they got married, because she went behind his back and tried to steal his inheritance. It seems like this isn't the first guy she's tried to scam out of his money. I think Kayla is a gold digger. I don't know what you want me to say to you, Dad. Am I supposed to be shocked and horrified and call off the wedding for something she did in her past? I'm just worried about you, Jordan. I don't want you to be taken advantage of. Just relax, Dad. I'm a big boy now. I know how to take care of myself. Jordy, please. I really don't have a good feeling about this girl. I know it's the night before your wedding, but you've been blowing me off the past couple of weeks. I just don't want you to make a big mistake. Dad, I'm marrying Kayla tomorrow, whether you like it or not. You may not like her because of some of the things she's done in past relationships, but maybe those other guys deserved what happened to them. I have my own reasons for marrying Kayla. Nobody deserves to be taken advantage of. I just can't shake this feeling that going through with this wedding is a bad idea. Who I marry is none of your business, Dad. I appreciate your concern, but it's not necessary. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to sleep. I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow. Listen, Kayla, I need to talk to you.
What do you want, Steven? I'm busy getting ready. If you haven't noticed, it's just hours before I get married to your son.
This is important. I know about your previous marriage and why your ex-husband had an annulment.
What? How did you find out about that?
That's not important right now. What is important is that I don't approve of you marrying my son.
So what? I don't need the approval of an old ogre like you. I can do what I want. And if I want to marry your son, I will. Now leave me alone before I turn your son against you.
You can't turn him against me. I'm his father.
You may be his father, but soon I'll be his wife, and I can get him to believe whatever I want. One short conversation, and I can have Jordan believing that the only reason you're against our marriage is that you're after his money.
What are you talking about? I'm not after anything. I just want what's best for Jordan.
Maybe I am what's best for Jordan. Did you ever think of that?
You won't get away with this, Kayla. I will protect my son no matter what.
Good luck with that. Now, if you don't mind, I have a wedding to get to.
Jordan, you have to call off this wedding.
Ugh, Dad, will you please just drop this already?
No, Jordan, you don't understand. Kayla is manipulating you. She said she was going to get you to believe that I'm after your money. But you must know that isn't true. Please, son, you can't marry this wretched woman. Alright, fine. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Honest with me about what? The only reason I'm with Kayla is that I'm gonna try to take over her father's business. I need to marry her so that I'll have some sort of vantage point in the company. The truth is, I don't have any money. I've been living off of my inheritance from you to show off to Kayla, so that she would think I was rich. Jordan, that money is supposed to take care of you when I die. How did you get access to the funds already? I got your lawyer to change the release clause so I could access it without having to provide the bank with your death certificate. What? Jordan, are you crazy? I'm just trying to make a better life for myself. As soon as I get into Kayla's family business, I'll be able to call the shots and earn a huge salary. You can't marry this girl just because you want to work in her family's business. Jordan, what are you thinking? If you needed money, you should have just told me. You know I'll always help you out and have your back. I know, Dad, but I've come too far to turn back now. I have to do this. Jordan, it's never too late to change your mind, especially if you end up making the right decision and not a huge mistake. I have to go, Dad. The wedding's about to start. I'll see you out there. Jordan, no! Please don't go through with this wedding!
Hi, Steven. Long time.
Kayla? What do you want?
I'm glad you asked. I figured out that Jordan doesn't actually have any money, and that he's been in fact using his inheritance from you by gaining early access to show off for me.
Now you know his secret. What are you gonna do?
Well, I'm not going to divorce him if that's what you're thinking. Instead, we've decided to take our relationship to the next level.
What do you mean? What's the next level?
I'm pregnant, of course.
What?
I know, exciting news. Now back to your question about what I want.
Yes, what is it?
You see, I want my baby to be looked after, and since your son doesn't have any fortune of his own, I thought it only right that you make a contribution.
What? Contribution? What are you talking about?
I want you to pay a percentage of your wealth into a fund for my child's future and education. I mean, it's only fair. Otherwise, the only way out of this is if I get an abortion.
No, you can't have an abortion. What kind of percentage do you want, and for what fund?
I was thinking about 45%. You are old after all. You won't be needing all your money for very much longer. We may as well put it to good use. The fund will be set up when you pay your contribution over to my family's business. Let's call it an education fund.
You're crazy if you think I'm going to pay money into your family's business for a fund. I will contribute to a fund for my grandchild, but I will have my lawyers create an external education fund. That way I know the money is in good hands.
Fine, do what you want. But if I find out that you're not going to give me money towards this child, I'm going to get rid of it. So as soon as my baby is born, it should be released to contribute towards medical bills and health checks.
Alright, I'll allow a portion of the money to be released for the child's health and medical expenses. Just don't kill my grandchild.
Good, then we have a deal.
Hi, Dad. I just thought I'd let you know that my baby girl has just been born. Oh, congratulations, son. I'm so happy for you. I know you're gonna make a wonderful father. Thanks, Dad. I can't wait for you to meet her. I can't wait either, son. Hello, Jordy. I'm just checking in to see how your first few hours as a father have been. I'm furious. Kayla went behind my back and has been planning to give our baby up for adoption all along. What? What are you talking about? I was holding my baby when one of the nurses came in and said she was ready to take the baby now. I asked her where she was taking her, and she said that her cot was ready and that the social services woman had arrived to complete the paperwork. That malicious, lying witch. I knew she was bad news. No wonder she wanted me to pay money into her family's business for an education fund. She's just trying to scam me out of my money. Just as well, I was smart enough to put clauses on the funds that I set aside for the child. Never mind that. What am I gonna do about my baby? How do I stop the custody release from going through? Don't worry, son. I'll contact my lawyers and see what we can do. I'm sorry we couldn't do anything to stop the process of putting your baby up for adoption. I really tried, son. But my lawyer said that there was nothing that we could do. The mother of the child has full custody of the baby and can decide to do what she pleases with it. I can't believe she gave my baby away. She just gave her up like our little girl meant nothing to her. She didn't even shed a tear. That woman is bad news. I tried to tell you all along that I didn't have a good feeling about her. I know, I should have listened to you. I'm sorry, Dad. I'm really sorry that I had to become so distant from you. I should have never let a girl come between our father-son relationship. It's okay, son. We all have to make our own mistakes. But it's time that you fix them. I'm still so angry with Kayla. Obviously, I don't want to stay married to her. But I feel like just serving her with divorce papers isn't enough. I want my revenge. I want to hurt her as she's hurt me when she allowed my baby to be torn out of my arms and sent away. I don't blame you for wanting revenge, but what is it you want to do? I have a plan. I'm going to take down her family's business. They let me into their inner circle. I know all the ins and outs of what's going on in there. I didn't want to say anything to you about it, because I know what you would say. What didn't you want to tell me? I want to help you get revenge on this wicked woman. She also took my first grandchild away from me. Her family's been using the business as a cover. They actually have been laundering money. Well, I can't say I'm surprised. Don't you worry, son. We'll get you out of there and take her and her family down.
Steven, I've spoken with my financial advisor, and he has told me that I still haven't received the funds you promised to release to me when I gave birth to your grandchild.
How stupid do you think I am, Kayla? You gave my grandchild up for adoption, and you still expect me to give you money?
I went through with my end of the deal. I gave birth to the child. I never said I was going to keep it. What would I want with a disgusting baby anyway?
You know, I thought by now I would have stopped being in shock by your actions, yet you still leave me speechless.
Well, if it's any consolation, the child has been adopted anonymously.
Yes, that makes everything better, thanks.
Good. Now pay me my money.
I was being sarcastic, Kayla. Nothing you say will make what you did okay. And you can forget it if you think you're gonna get a single penny out of me.
We'll see about that, old man. We had a deal. I will get what I want.
3 months later. Well, it's finally over. The divorce is finalized, and Kayla's family is being investigated for fraudulent activity. And I just want to apologize again, Dad. Like you always said, family's everything, and I should have never let a woman come in between our relationship. Well done, son. You made a very difficult decision to take on Kayla and her family, but you did the right thing. I'm so proud of you, and I forgive you. The main thing is that we're reunited, and our relationship is stronger than ever. I wish I felt better, but instead I've lost everything. I lost my wife, my job, and my baby. I have nothing. That's not entirely true. Yes, I know, I still have you, but that doesn't make everything better. That's not what I was gonna say. I have some news. What news? You know how your baby was adopted anonymously? Yes, it was so that Kayla didn't have to have anything to do with the adoptive family. I know, but that's not what I'm getting at. Well, what is it? I don't particularly like talking about this. It breaks my heart. I was the anonymous adopter. What? I'm the one who adopted your daughter and claimed full custody of her. Why are you only telling me this now? I had to keep it a secret until all this legal stuff between you and Kayla was settled. I didn't want to jeopardize our keeping custody of your baby. I can't believe this. You really got custody of my little girl? I keep telling you, family is everything, Jordy. There's no way I was gonna let that evil woman send my grandchild off with some strangers. I know I haven't told you this much lately, but I love you, Dad. I love you too, son. After a legal battle broke out, Kayla and her family were taken down for money laundering. Although she tried to pull Jordan and me down with their ship, I hired a fantastic lawyer for him and me, and he got off clean of any prosecutions. I obviously came through without anything against me, as I had proof that she tried to steal money from me by having a child. It was especially helpful to Jordan's case that he was the one who infiltrated the business and shared proof of the illegal dealings that were taking place. Once Jordan was finally able to cut ties with Kayla, he and I were able to readjust the custody of my grandchild. I decided to share custody with Jordan so that I'd be able to continue to contribute more to my granddaughter's upbringing and inheritance. The fund I created for her education still stands, and Jordan and I continue to contribute to it. I also made sure that no woman would ever come between my son and I again. I had my lawyers set up very specific parameters for his inheritance, that it could only be claimed by him and only once I've passed on. I've also been working with Jordan and helping him financially to build a new business for himself to run, and eventually pass on to his daughter. He's now earning an honest living, and I can retire happily, knowing my family is well taken care of. What would you do if someone tried to manipulate and turn someone you care about against you?